Okay, I'm gonna do a quick launch check here for a boat. It's a pre-check over I do every time I launch my boat in the water. First of all, I want to check and make sure that the trawler motor is working. I have a remote for this, so I have it plugged in. I turn it on. You can see it moving there. So that's good. Also, what I'll do is undo my strap. I have a restraint strap here that anchors the boat, like a safety strap that anchors the boat to the trailer. I'll undo that and leave a little slack in it, but leave the winch hooked up so that the boat can come back a little bit. Now, this is a drive on and off trailer, so usually you can launch it with a rope. If you're launching into an area where you're not allowed to use your motor, you can use a rope on the eyelet here, and let the boat off real slow, and then let it float off the trailer. But I'm actually going to drive it off the trailer. And switch around here quick. I got my tie ropes here where I'm going to tie it to the dock here when I park my truck, because I'm launching it on my own. I don't have anybody that's going to drive my truck, so I'm going to launch it on my own. Got one on the back here. It's pretty windy today, so the boat is going to want to drift around when I have it tied to the dock, and I wanted to do that. Okay, most importantly, right here, drain plug. Make sure that's in. Make sure to pick up from my live well. It's not clogged up. Drain plug, very important. I've seen a lot of people backing boats into water that forget the drain plug, and the back of the boat starts doing this in the water because it's sinking. And then they see it pumping, the bilge pump comes on and they're pumping water out. Everybody who's on the boat has at one time forgot to put that plug in and then realized it and then pulled the boat back out of the water, myself included. Anybody who tells you that they have not done that is a bullshitter. Make sure your motor's tilted up. You can see here I have my motor up. I don't want it down low where it's going to catch on the ground, of course. I have it power tilt here so I can tilt it up. You want to keep it up so you're not going to whack your skag off the ground. You want to keep that clear of the ground. Okay, this is pretty much a scouting trip just to run my boat. You can see here I'm in 36 feet of water. I'm that far from the shore. It's pretty deep. You can see the water temperature there is 58, almost 59 degrees. Water clarity is pretty good. Sometimes you get algae bloom here, but not today. Cruising to see, there's a tree there that's about to come down into the water. There's one there that's down in the water. It's windy today. That's a bottom structure. And we'll see what we find. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay, there was a quick trip down the lake, run the boat, first time this year. It's nice and clear, there's nobody else here, so we had pretty much had the lake to ourselves. I seen one other boat. Water's really clear after ice out. It's like I can see down 30 feet, no problem. And it's a problem when the fish can see you though, that they're pretty spooky. We caught 2 bluegills, 1 nice smallmouth, so a successful test outing. Hopefully we'll have a few more outings this summer, catch some more fish. Okay, time to put the boat back on the trailer. This, for some people, is a difficult thing to do. Of course, the more you do it, the better you get at it, but it can be tricky. What I found that is a big advantage is if you have loading bunks on the trailer, especially in dealing with the wind. Now I have a wind coming from my right to left tonight and it's pretty strong, so I'm going to have to compensate for that when I'm loading the boat. But you can just drive the boat right up onto the trailer. Alright, let's switch this around and let's go. There we go. Back up off the dock. Make sure there's nothing behind me. Switch gear. See the bunks sticking up. It's going to make it a little easier for me to guide it in. Lift the motor up a little bit. Just like that. Let it straighten out on the bunks. And what I'm going to do is turn the engine straight. Just give it the juice. And that's it, we're out of the water. Time to go home. Okay, now got the boat out of the water. So what we're going to do first is take the plug out. Not much water in there, that's good. That means my boat doesn't leak. Put my plug back in here. Now, second thing you want to do is lower your motor and then drain as much water out of the motor as you can. There you see the water coming out of the prop. You especially want to do that if you're going to store it over winter. You don't want any water inside that casing. Now, you obviously do not want to drive your boat with the motor like that. Just let it drain out when you're wrapping it up. Now we're going to put the anchor straps on the trailer. Also, you make sure you have your safety strap on the front, and then you've got our main hook here into the bow ring, and then I have it locked into the ratchet there, so that's not going to go anywhere. Okay, you can see now I have the ratchet strap installed on the cleat hook on the boat, and then it goes to the trailer. Just make sure it's snug. Make sure you have your strap the right way around too. This protector sits against the hull of your boat, so it's not going to scratch it. I'm going to put the other one on the other side here. See the heads of the transducer heads here for my sonars. Put that in there. Push the cam strap down for that. Make sure it's secure. That's going to stop your boat. It will move a little bit on the trailer, but you don't want it bouncing around. Now, last but not least, you want your transom saver. This goes into the fork. This sits underneath the motor. So it goes into the fork of the trailer. And this sits underneath the fork of the motor. Now what I'm going to do is lower it down to catch the fork. Almost there. And up it right about there. So my hydraulics are going to push down into that, and then I got a restrainer strap on it. Now what that does is secure the base of my engine, the power head of the engine basically, and it mounts it against the trailer so it stops the motor bouncing up and down on my transom here, and it would, you know, damage my hydraulic, my jack, or if you had a jack plate here where you had an engine lift that would lift it up and down, it could damage that too. Now we're good to go. One more thing I'll say about the trailers: make sure you set your tire pressures to the correct pressure. There's going to be a tag on the trailer right there. You see my tire weight, or my tire pressure, 65 psi, and then it gives you the max load and everything. So look for your stickers on your trailer there. It'll also say on the tire what the max inflation is, but don't always go by what's on the tire. Always go by what's on the trailer sticker. You also too want to make sure that your bearings are greased. This has bearing buddies on it, so I can pop this cover off, and then there's a little grease nipple on it, so I can hook a grease gun to it and pump the grease into it, and it will pump new grease in and pump the old grease out. On the older style trailers where it just has a cap, what you want to do is pull the cap off. You know, if you have a hub plate like this is just a cover. You pull this off, you pull a cap cover off. Then there's a nut in there, usually with a split pin or a cotter pin. Take the cotter pin out, undo the nut. You would pull the wheel and the bearing off together. You're going to have two bearings. You're going to have an inner and an outer. You're going to have a seal at the back of the bearing then, and you want to make sure that the grease in the hub is nice and clean, and that you don't have any issues with that. And check the bearings too to make sure they're not galled or you know, worn in any way. You'll see it. You'll see galling on them if they're bad. But of course, you're submerging these under the water, so you have to make sure that they're good to go. Also too, you want to check all your lights. Make sure your lights are in good shape, as I have rear brake lights and I have side marker lights here too. So, and then up by my hitch I have side marker lights as well, just so more. So just make sure that they work, and you'll be good to go. That was a successful first trip out. Even caught a bonus fish. Had a good night out with the kids, and lots of fun. So hopefully there's a few more trips coming. Thanks for watching.